the state of corruption in the country and the efforts that his government is taking to fight this graft incidences in the country. The president says key amongst these measures that are to be implemented almost immediately is the fresh vetting of all senior procurement officers in government and state corporations. He says this will be done before the beginning of the next financial year, that is the 2018-2019 financial year. He says these officers will have to undergo this exercise, which will include polygraph testing, or if you like, lie detector tests, and those officers who will be found to have failed these tests will be deemed suspended as investigations into their conduct and work is opened. This perhaps being the hardest hitting statement yet, as the president struggles to deal with the what he says is the enemy of the country, the graft issue. He also says that the country, his government has in the recent past taken fresh measures, including appointing a fresh team at both investigative and prosecutorial level. He says this team is already doing a good job. We've seen a number of people already taken to court in the light of the NYS scandal. He says many more arrests are coming, and he has actually expressed his faith in this team, saying that he knows that they are doing their best, that they will bring strong cases that the government hopes to win. And he says this is just the beginning of this fight, saying that also apart from the fact that his government is very keen on fighting corruption, he says his government is also keen in ensuring that he leaves a united Kenya when his term ends. And towards this end, he also referred to the handshake, to the new unity between him and the Prime Minister, saying that he wants the country to embrace politics of togetherness, of unity. The fact that people differ does not mean that they have to be enemies, and saying that he will continue along those lines. He will engage with Kenyans of all of life, his main aim being to unify the country and help in one way or another in achieving the dreams and hopes and aspirations of the founding fathers when they fought for this country's independence some 55 years ago. So that is what has been happening here at the Kinoru Stadium during this year's celebrations of the Madaraka Day that happened here in Meru County. Back to you, Gladys.
Thank you, Brenda Wanga, giving us a recap of what was the 55th celebrations of Madaraka Day at the Kinoru Stadium in Meru County. And of course, the president was very adamant when it comes to corruption. And speaking of which, in his Madaraka Day speech, he has declared an all-out war on graft. Now, he has announced that all accounting officers in all government departments and agencies will undergo fresh vetting, including polygraph testing, before the end of the financial year, and declared that all who fail will be suspended. The president categorized corruption and ethnic divisions as the greatest threat to Kenya's prosperity since colonization.
All heads of procurement and accounts in government ministries, departments, agencies and parastatals will undergo fresh vetting, including polygraph testing, to determine their integrity and suitability. Those who shall fail the vetting will stand suspended. I expect this exercise to be concluded before the start of the new financial year 2018-2019. And in the coming days, you will hear of other tougher actions that will be taken by my government.
And echoing his deputy, President Kenyatta has also put the judiciary on the spot, accusing them of impeding the war on graft by granting orders which defeat the successful prosecution of graft.
The Director of Public Prosecutions, the police and other institutions in the multi-agency team against corruption are on the move, and they are making decisive steps to build strong cases for the prosecution of corrupt officials. Their work will bear fruit when the judiciary also responds by ensuring the frivolous and obstructive use of the court system to avoid responsibility will no longer be allowed. I welcome the assurance of the judiciary's leadership yesterday that they are with the rest of government and all Kenyans in this war for our integrity as a country. I am glad that the rest of senior officials have been made, and I can tell you that there are more on the way. I want officials, particularly senior ones who are directly implicated in corruption, to have no place in my administration and for them to go where they belong, which is in jail.
Staying on that matter, Kajiado Governor Joseph Olelenku has also weighed in on the war on graft, saying the government should go after all implicated in the scandals, regardless of status or standing. Speaking during the Madaraka Day celebrations in Kajiado, the governor also called for the recovery of all monies looted from the public coffers.
Recent development on corruption in the country takes us backward. But we are happy to see a very strong arm of the law being applied towards fighting the vice, and we stand fully behind the efforts. And in the counties, we want to say that we are cognizant that there is that danger around and must be fought, and we are fighting it here in Kajiado as well.
Away from that, but still with the 55th Madaraka Day celebrations, Mombasa Governor Hassan Joho has waived hospital and mortuary fees in all the county hospitals in celebration of Madaraka Day and in line with the peace pact between President Uhuru Kenyatta and NASA leader Raila Odinga. Now, Joho was speaking during Madaraka Day celebrations at Tononoka grounds in Mombasa, where he ordered County Secretary Francis Thoya to implement the order with immediate effect. The governor said the county government will waive hospital and mortuary bills for patients and also give them transport to their homes. Joho also said he supports the handshake between the president and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, saying it was a right step towards achieving lasting peace.
As a county, is that when we come here we announce to all families ambaye wako na wagonjwa katika hospitali zetu na hawana pesa za kuwatoa, from today wacha waenjoy madaraka yetu, all the bills shall be waived. Mwenye mgonjwa aende amshukue, aende nyumbani. Ambaye hana transport, nimetoa amri kwa county secretary aweke vituktuk hapo apeleke watu majumbani kwao. So CS, you know what you need to do, isn't it? From here you go to the Coast General, every county facility. Mama amezaa hajalipa aende home. Mtu ambaye madawa ya TB hajalipa aende home. Mtu ambaye ana malaria hajalipa aende home leo. Si ni Kenya yao hii? Na hii ni county yao? Na governors ni gavana wao? Shida iko wapi sasa? Si namna hiyo?
Away from the celebrations, one person has been confirmed dead and 8 others injured in 2 related accidents along the Kabarnet Airstrip Road in Baringo County. Now, according to eyewitnesses, the truck involved in one accident was speeding towards Kaserma Primary School before it lost control and rolled over. Another lorry lost control before driving into 3 other vehicles which had been packed at the scene of a first accident. A public service vehicle suffered the same fate before its driver fled the scene of their accident. The 2 incidents were confirmed by Baringo Central OCPD, that is Philip Wambogo, who urged motorists to exercise caution on the roads.
Sasa vile ilianguka, sasa ingine yenye ilikuwa inafuata yeye, kwa sababu hiyo kari mimi naona ni kampuni moja, ikakimbia ikakuja kama driver ikastuka, ikaenda ikakonga nini kuta ya speaker.
In Madaraka County, a family in Ithuri village in the county is still searching for their kin, a Class 2 boy who they say drowned in Rosho River more than a week ago. The 10-year-old boy is said to have drowned when crossing the river as he followed his mother who had gone to fetch firewood. According to the boy's father, the search started hours after they received the news of his disappearance, but it has yielded not even a clue of his whereabouts. The search has been conducted mostly downstream, with the family appealing to the public to be on the lookout.
Sakia Chega ni mtoto wangu, alikuwa na miaka 10, anasomea shule ya Karibuni Primary School Saturday 2. Alipata ajali ya maji, akasuka kwa mto na akaenda na maji. Kwa wiki mbili hata saa hii tunakuja asubuhi na jioni, tunakuja hapa saa 3 asubuhi, tunatoka saa 3 jioni, na tulikuwa tumemtafuta mpaka leo hatumuoni. Tunaomba serikali kuja itusaidie kuangalia huyu mtoto, ama ako hapa kwa maji na kuja mamtoe.
Transport along the Kitale-Lodwar Road eased up early this morning after a temporary bridge at Kainuk was reopened. Now, trucks, lorries and other transporters had been stranded for days following heavy rains, and the reopening was welcomed by the drivers. The bridge is crucial in the transport of oil from Lokichor, Turkana County, where President Uhuru Kenyatta is expected to flag off the first truckloads of oil under the pilot scheme on Sunday. The first convoy of trucks of oil are expected to use the Kainuk Bridge, and Kainuk Bridge was impassable from last year, and a temporary one was constructed to assist the transport and movement. The temporary one was swept away by floods 2 months ago. Education Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohammed has warned schools found engaging in irregularities during this year's national examinations that they will be deregistered. The CS, who was speaking in Madaraka County, said the government has allocated 6 billion shillings, which will be used towards improving infrastructure in public schools across the country.
Speaking at Chuka Girls Secondary School in Madaraka County, Education Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohammed said schools found to have engaged in examination cheating will be closed and the culprits punished. Amina said the Ministry of Education has put in place stringent measures to curb this malpractice.
Any school found to abet cheating in the forthcoming KCPE and KCSE examinations will be closed and probably even deregistered. And so we are taking this extremely seriously.
She also revealed that officials from the Ministry of Education will be fully involved in supervision of exams this year.
We have now resolved to give the principals, center managers, more powers, to empower them so that they remain firmly at the helm of providing leadership during examinations.
The CS also raised an alarm over rising cases of drug abuse in schools, which she attributed to indiscipline and schools unrest, which has led to some students burning school properties.
The students who are suspected or caught abusing drugs and alcohol are being asked to record statements, because we actually want to know who is selling and providing these illicit brews and drugs to our young children. We want the adults held responsible.
Amina said the government has allocated 6 billion shillings to the education sector to ensure that learning institutions get the necessary support to improve education standards. Each constituency will get 12 million shillings, which will be used towards improving infrastructure in public schools across the country.
Away from that, persons with disabilities in Homa Bay County say they face daily discrimination and barriers that restrict them from meaningful participation in society on an equal basis. They say the playing field isn't even, as they are locked out of key appointments and nominations in public service, even though they have the requisite knowledge and skills. They are now calling on the county government to ensure all public places are also built in a way that accommodates their needs and enables them easy access to public spaces.
Wherever they are, so they can be seen, teachers, priests.
Pupils of Kapseret Primary School in Uasin Gishu County are back to school after a week out due to lack of latrines. Now, public health officers from Kapseret ordered the closure, citing health risks to the pupils, and parents. Kenya Red Cross and Kapseret Constituency Development Fund Office immediately put up temporary latrines after NTV aired the plight of the pupils. Learning has now resumed after the public health officers gave the school a clean bill of health. Kapseret CDF office has also initiated construction of permanent latrines at a cost of 400,000 shillings.
Leo ni siku njema, tumetembelewa na wageni. Tulikuwa tumefunga shule kwa wiki moja hivi kwa sababu ile toilet ingine ilikuwa inazama na ingezama na wanafunzi. Wakati tuliangalia health officers wakakuja tukafunga shule. Hiyo shule wakati tumefunga, CDF wakakuja wakatusaidia kujenga temporary na Red Cross. Kwa hivyo tunashukuru hawa. Lakini wakati niliitwa nika open tenders na anytime contractor kanaweza kuja.
Academicians from South Nyanza, Kisumu County are calling on the government through the Ministry of Education to introduce technical training in the school curriculum. Speaking in Agoro Primary School, Kasipul Kabondo constituency, the professionals led by Kasipul Member of Parliament Ongondo Were and Ringa Boys Principal Austin Muma, they said the move will increase the opportunities for talent development across the country and help address their unemployment question. The leaders say such training should be introduced from the primary level of education.
Even symbolically, you'll pick them after the ceremony.
Realized for the last few years, people goes for papers, degree, but they are leaving the technical part of it. Who will be building nyumba kama hizi?
Further afield, Spain has a new prime minister after a parliamentary vote Friday led to the ousting of the incumbent president. Now speaking to the Spanish parliament just before the vote, Rajoy said he would accept the result and wanted to be the first to congratulate the leader of the opposition Socialite Party, Pedro Sanchez, as his successor. A long-running corruption trial found dozens of people linked to Rajoy's governing People's Party.